I'll give you what. So the first is the introduction. I'm going to do a little interview. The second part will be Ms. Iman will give you the talk about the different types of discovery learning and its meaning, and then we will have experiments. To the end, we will have experiments, and then in between, I have samples of writing workshops and the discovery learning about writing, math, and science. So I have it up here. You can look at it. In a minute, I'll show some examples up here, so you can see what schools are using right now that are most effective. So you can see some examples. And then the fifth part is that I'm going to share some of what schools and research has been done with discovery learning. And this part 6, we will do an experiment later, so get these ready in a minute, and then we will have group sharing about outcomes of the experiment. So you see what they're doing in class samples, and then final thoughts sharing with the quotes of what people discover about what lessons they learn from it. As you see that we can define discovery learning as an approach to instructions where students interact with their environment. So that's the whole thing about discovery learning. You could be learning anything. Anything can become learning to you in the environment. And here you can see there's it bring all in to it's connected. Puzzle pieces connected to and the presumption. What do you think when you heard the word of discover? What word comes to your mind when you discover?
Find out something new.
Finding out something new. Okay. Invented.
Explore.
Explore. Find something different that you know, right? And okay. What we presume about that we all have it, we desire in the environment, and so it's like a lifelong learners. We think that innately social, we have since we childbirth, we have that social abilities already, where we could kind of like build that relationship automatic, and it just happened. It just happened. Or the stages that we go through later. I'm going to show what Piaget connected back to what he says about the stages. So what do you think? Is it automatic in learning? Is it automatic come to you, or what's required to learning comes? So you just mentioned about that everybody need to have that curiosity, and then once you have that, you start to look for it, and then find out about it, and see what's the problem. Can I fix this? Can I make it better? So exactly what it is. So here you can see Piaget again. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about him, but I would like to connect it with, like, since we zero age, we started having learning from birth, and we have the start of it. And if we don't continue or have the environment that provides this learning, it will die out, you know. So and as we grow, so I'm thinking, as I was doing this research, it's so similar to what are they having right now? The discovery learning teach children to become scientists, and what you will do your thesis, and then it's the same process. And I was talking to my other colleagues that children are getting it right now. You know, they're starting, they're lucky to have this type of learning where it's helps them to continue to build up. Because what happened is that if the children does not have the prior knowledge, they cannot do discovery learning. Later you see different types. That's why people discover so many different ways and angles of learning you can discover. And I'm going to let Ms. Ann go into more details.
During the period that I was trying my best to make this research, I came across about this video of Jerome Bruner, and it's in YouTube. It's like, you know, one of the speeches in Madrid. The name of the university is Universidad Autónoma de Madrid. Very hard. It was posted last May 27, 2006, and he mentioned there, I was really, you know, caught about this when he said understanding is like discovering. Okay, for me, when I was young, I used to hear this word from my teacher. During those times we're not allowed to say, you know, anything that will distract the class. When she asked something like, understand, do you understand? Something like that. Then the only thing that we can say is, understand. Yes, teacher, understand. But I don't really know that time. What is the real meaning of the word understand? I don't have any idea. And this time, it caught my eye when I saw understanding is like discovering. It's like, you know, the meaning of discovery learning, where learners is learning on their own to construct knowledge. They are learning on their own, the understanding and so forth. So it's really very true that what he said coincides with discovery learning. So what can you say about understanding is like discovery, if you are going to relate it and what we are doing right now as teachers? Anyone? Just think. Understanding is like discovering. When you are teaching in a classroom, how can you see this in your classroom? Understanding is like discovering. Dr. Andy?
Yeah, I was just working today with a kid on factor, right? And I mean, I was trying to get him to understand that the factors come in pairs, right? And then I'm talking about factors of 6. Okay, so it's 1 with 6, 2 with 3. But you have to think about factor pairs, right? Because what he was doing was he was listing the numbers, but then he's putting them together, they're not in pairs. So you might have, for example, 1 and 2. Well, actually, 1 and 2 are both factors of 6, but they're not factor pairs. So 1 and 2 of the factor pair are factors of 2. 1 times 2 is 2, right? So I was trying to get him to see that, and it was like we weren't able to get that. In fact, I'm not sure he has it yet. And what I realized is, doing that with him, is I actually put him off on his own to work on it. And I had a little program on a computer that I found on Google where you just put the numbers in, it will give you the pairs.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, like, you just try this, and you go back and see if you can get the pairs. And he still doesn't have it yet, but I think what I have to do is I have to lay off a little bit, because he's got to figure out the idea of pairing. Why is it that way?
Yeah.
And the only way he's going to do that is if he messes around with the numbers himself. Like, I can teach him the technique, and maybe it's useful to teach him the technique. He needs to know that, but it doesn't mean anything until he goes, okay, now I get it. These things come in blocks. You know, you got this one, together.
Yes, that is understanding. He discovers something new from you.
No, he hasn't
You
yet.
did it.
He hasn't actually got there yet. He will,
Yeah.
but I'm saying I've actually got to leave him
But the
alone.
thing is, he understands a little bit.
Yes.
What you said, right?
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
But he needs to discover it himself before he'll make it.
Yeah.
Then he'll own it.
Own.
He'll own it.
Yeah,
And
so
because
that
it was
you feel
interesting.
the ownership.
Here's the interesting thing is, I gave the kid's a fourth grader. He's a fourth grader, and at the end of the session, I gave him an alternative. I said, look, you have a choice here. I said, I know you got other homework, so I'm not going to load this on you as something extra. I said, now you have a choice. You want to take this paper home and play with this and work on it yourself and see what you can do with it? I said, you're getting there, but you haven't quite got this yet. I said, you want to play with it yourself? Or you can leave it here until next time. And he kind of looked at me and said, I want to take the paper home. And I said, okay. See, so he may actually be doing the real learning, or he's probably in bed by now, but he may be doing the real learning
Yeah.
like now on his own.
I think it's really very, very interesting. So, as what Dr. Andy said, it's one good example of this word, of this thing, understanding is like this coffee. What about you, Zani, in your class? You have young kids with you, right?
I think for young kids, sometimes I'm trying to explain like concept, and then sometimes they just don't get it. And when they get it, it's like, it's like a light bulb
like
showing. So it gets them like they're excited about like getting the concept on something. So for them, it's like discovering a new thing, new knowledge. So when they understand, it's everything changed.
That's really very true. You give them hints, but you don't get to the point of telling them the answer. What Dr. Andy said and Zani said is really very true.